Success doesn't come to those who wait for the perfect moment. It comes to those who show up, especially when it's hard, when the excitement fades, when nobody's watching, when the outcome is uncertain. That's the true test. Anybody can show up when it's easy. Anybody can grind when they're motivated. But what defines your next 10 years isn't what you do when you're inspired. It's what you do when you're not. There will be days when you're tired, days when doubt creeps in, days when your efforts feel invisible. And in those moments, it's tempting to pull back, to postpone, to say not today. But showing up anyway, pushing forward when it's tough, that's how you build the kind of grit and discipline that separates you from the crowd. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. You don't need to do big things every single day, but you need to keep moving. A small step taken every day will get you further than a giant leap taken once a year. The future rewards people who commit, not just when the lights are bright, but when nobody's clapping. There's power in routine. There's strength in discipline. You're not always going to feel like it, and that's okay. The trick is to not wait on your feelings. Act anyway. Do it tired. Do it scared. Do it unsure. Because every time you show up, even when it's hard, you prove to yourself that you're serious. And that belief, that's what builds momentum. So remember, the hard days are the most important days. How you handle them will shape the next decade more than anything else. Show up, not perfectly, just consistently. That's where the magic lives. The moment you start to feel comfortable is the moment you stop growing. Staying hungry means keeping that fire alive. No matter how much you've accomplished, no matter how far you've come, it's easy to get complacent when things start going well. But growth doesn't live in comfort. Progress doesn't happen when you're satisfied. It happens when you keep pushing, keep reaching, and keep striving like you're just getting started. The next 10 years of your life will be shaped by how willing you are to stay a student. No matter how talented or successful you become, there is always more to learn. There's always another level. Hunger isn't about greed. It's about purpose. It's about waking up every day with a sense of urgency and drive, knowing that your potential is still unfolding. People often think the finish line is some point where you can finally relax. But those who truly excel never see a finish line. They see milestones. They celebrate, then keep moving. Hunger is what keeps your edge sharp. It keeps you humble, focused, and ready to outwork yesterday's version of yourself. The danger of success is that it can make you lazy. It can fool you into thinking you've arrived. But the truth is, you never really arrive. You evolve. And that evolution requires effort. It requires intention. Staying hungry means not letting your wins turn into walls. It means being grateful for what you've achieved, but still reaching for more. Not out of dissatisfaction, but because you know there's still greatness inside you. 10 years from now, the ones who are ahead won't necessarily be the most talented. They'll be the ones who stayed hungry, kept growing, kept chasing better. Make that choice. Stay hungry. In a world that's louder than ever, one of the most powerful things you can do for your future is learn how to cut the noise. Everywhere you turn, someone has an opinion about who you should be, what you should do, and how you should live. Social media, news, friends, family, even strangers can all become background noise that slowly pulls you away from your purpose. If you don't guard your mind, you'll find yourself chasing goals that aren't even yours. The next 10 years of your life will be shaped not just by what you listen to, but by who you listen to. Not every voice deserves your attention. Not every piece of advice is meant for your journey. You have to be intentional about what you feed your thoughts. Just like your body needs healthy food to thrive, your mind needs clarity, truth, and focus. If you allow negativity, drama, or comparison to constantly fill your head, it will block your ability to grow and move forward. Cutting the noise also means learning how to say no. No to distractions, no to people who drain you, no to environments that keep you stuck. It's about choosing silence over chaos, focus over popularity, purpose over pressure. Your clarity depends on your ability to protect your peace. The world will always be loud. There will always be voices trying to steer your direction. But the most important voice is the one inside you, the one that knows who you are and where you're going. To hear it clearly, you've got to tune out the rest. The next decade belongs to those who can stay locked in, stay grounded, and stay true. So turn down the volume on the world and turn up the volume on your purpose. That's how you move with power. One of the most defining choices you can make over the next 10 years is the decision to take full ownership of your mistakes. Not just when it's convenient, not just when it's obvious, but every time you fall short. Growth doesn't happen in perfection, it happens in reflection. And that starts with being honest about where you went wrong. It's easy to point fingers. It's easy to blame circumstances, other people, or bad timing. But real growth begins when you stop deflecting and start reflecting. When you look yourself in the mirror and say, "That was on me." That kind of accountability builds strength. It builds character. It builds trust, both with yourself and with the people around you. Mistakes are not the enemy. In fact, they're some of the best teachers you'll ever have, but only if you're willing to face them. Only if you're willing to extract the lesson instead of carrying the shame. See, failure isn't final, but refusing to learn from it, that's what keeps you stuck. That's what repeats the cycle. Owning your mistakes doesn't mean beating yourself up. It means taking responsibility with grace. It means saying, "I could have done better," and then actually doing better next time. That humility opens doors, it sharpens your self-awareness, it earns you respect. Not because you're perfect, but because you're real. In the next 10 years, you will make wrong turns. That's guaranteed. But what defines you is how you respond. Will you let those moments break you, or will you let them build you? Own your path, own your progress, and most importantly, own your power to change. That's how leaders are made, that's how legacies are built, and that's how you level up, one honest step at a time. Over the next 10 years, your character will matter more than any title, achievement, or recognition you chase. Skill might open doors, talent might impress people, but it's character that keeps you in the room. It's who you are when no one's watching that will shape your future in ways you can't always see right away. In a world that celebrates status, fame, and image, it's easy to focus on looking successful instead of being solid. But character is the foundation everything else stands on. Without it, all the success in the world will eventually crumble. Your values, your integrity, how you treat people, those things echo far beyond the moment. They're what people remember when you're not in the room. They're what defines your reputation and your legacy. Character isn't something you can fake. It's built over time, through decisions, through pressure, through how you handle power and how you treat people who can do nothing for you. It shows in how you respond to conflict, how you handle temptation, and how you lead when leadership gets lonely. As the years go on, you'll face moments that test your principles. Maybe no one else will know what choice you made, but you will, and that's enough. Because the truth is, every decision you make in private is casting a vote for the person you're becoming in public. The next decade will reward those who stay true to themselves, even when it's not the popular route. So don't just chase the spotlight, chase substance. Be the one who's honest when it's easier to lie. Be the one who stays grounded when others drift. Build your character like your future depends on it, because it does. That's how you create a life that's not only successful. There will be moments in the next 10 years when nothing makes sense, when your plans fall apart and the path ahead looks foggy. In those moments, belief is the only thing that will carry you through. Not belief in the system, not belief in luck, belief in yourself, in your purpose, and in something greater than what you can see right now. Believing anyway means choosing to trust the process, even when the results haven't shown up yet. It means waking up and taking another step, even if yesterday felt like a failure. It's about holding on to your vision when nobody else understands it. That kind of faith isn't passive. It's powerful. It's what keeps you grounded when the world shakes around you. Doubt will come. Life will throw challenges at you that make you question everything. People will underestimate you. Opportunities will slip away. And you'll be tempted to think maybe you're not cut out for what you want. But belief is a decision you make daily. It's not just a feeling. It's a choice. A decision to keep showing up, to keep dreaming, to keep building something out of nothing. Sometimes belief is the only thing you have, but it's also the most important thing. Because belief shapes your actions, and your actions shape your future. What you believe about yourself sets the ceiling for what you'll become. If you want to break through limits, you have to believe that you're capable. Even when you're scared, even when it's uncertain, even when it's hard. Over the next decade, challenges will test you, but belief will define you. Keep it alive, nurture it, speak life over your vision, because the ones who go the furthest are the ones who choose to believe anyway.